Hello, I'm Annette Young and welcome to the 51%, a show about the women who are reshaping our world. Coming up, we head to Kenya where more and more young girls are refusing to undergo genital mutilation. Also, the tale of Ghana's Black Princesses, the women's football team who's heading to the World Cup and sharing the load when it comes to child rearing in Germany. But first, female genital mutilation, or FGM as it's referred to, is illegal in Kenya. Yet it's a practice that remains key to the culture of many communities. Still, more and more young women are resisting, as Frans van Kat's Duncan Woodside discovered when he headed to the Rift Valley.
These two girls are runaways. They left home to escape female genital mutilation. Felicia, who's 20, lodges with 18-year-old Susan, who ran away just a few weeks ago. They eke out a living selling fruit to travellers.
I couldn't have stayed at home because if I had, my parents would have pestered me as to why I refused to undergo the cut. Sometimes they try to scare you by saying there are people who'll come at night and wake you up, and they'll take you for the cut.
I was told to go to the cut, but I refused. Also, when you go to the cut, you'll be forced to be married by an old man.
The cutting process is carried out by women. Margaret says she's mutilated hundreds of girls. The ritual is carried out with a razor blade.
When the girls are to be cut, we get stones. Everyone has a stone to sit on, like these ones here. When you cut them, they sit still, like the stone they're sitting on. No flesh remains behind after the cut. What remains is just the base.
Margaret's now an anti-FGM ambassador, thanks to a sensitisation programme run by Kenya's National Council of Churches. But she used to earn up to €250 a day, making cutting a lucrative business.
If you tell someone to quit this work, they'll say, "Are you really telling us to leave this business that's helping us earn a living and enabling us to send our children to school?"
Many men within cattle herding communities here in Kenya view FGM and male circumcision as a cultural necessity. And it's not just the elders.
You are fighting for a woman. You love a woman, really. But the problem is that she has not undergone. So it will be a fight between me and her that, please, I want you to undergo this particular process for you to be qualified, for you to be a true woman.
The culture of providing a dowry, mainly in the form of cattle, results in additional pressure for girls to undergo FGM. Marrying off daughters brings wealth for families, and would-be husbands often refuse to wed someone who's not been cut.
And staying in Africa, they're known as the Black Princesses. Ghana's under-20s women's football team have qualified for this year's World Cup in Canada. They join Nigeria as the only two African teams in the tournament. But although the women's game in Ghana is getting more popular, it's still lacking vital financial support, as our correspondent Katerina Vitozzi reports.
Crunch time for Ghana's under-20s women's team. The Black Princesses lost the first leg of this qualifier to Equatorial Guinea. To get to their third consecutive World Cup, then, they needed a 2-goal win. But a trip to Canada this summer wasn't the only thing riding on this match.
If we want to ask for more benefits, motivation, it goes with winning games so that it will be a justification for you to ask for some more inputs. In the past, the initial stages when we started women's football, we're now getting the support from the ministry, the government and corporate institutions. But now the ministry and government and the Football Association has agreed and accepted the concept that women's football has come to stay in our country.
To stay and to be very successful. 2 years ago, Ghana's under-17s were the first ever African women's team to be World Cup runners-up. With the medals comes greater support and respect.
As women, to see a fellow woman playing football and then going up and up to the World Cup, we feel really, really good. We feel important.
This game went to penalties and in Ghana's favour. Thanks to government funding, each player gets a $4,000 bonus for winning, so there's plenty to celebrate. This will be Captain Priscilla Okiere's second World Cup. She has a clear message for girls who want to follow in her footsteps.
If you really want to make it to the top, if you really know what you want, you really have to take this kind of things, hard work, perseverance, and you have to be strong as well.
But organisers say extra funding is crucial too. They want to secure more corporate sponsorship to help push this women's under-20s team all the way to a World Cup final.
To Germany now, where taking time off to be a dad is slowly becoming a norm. Since 2007, German parents have been entitled to up to 14 months of parental leave at 65% of pay to share however they wish. And the number of men using it has been rising. Even the Vice-Chancellor of Europe's largest economy has informed his bosses that he won't be working on Wednesday afternoon, as Jessica Saltz reports.
Norbert is a father hen and proud of it. His job took a back seat the day his daughter Salome was born 11 months ago, and he has never regretted it. He and his wife take it in turn to look after their daughter, and together they have taken 14 months parental leave in total. This new family concept would have been inconceivable even a few years ago in Germany, but is now becoming more popular.
When I look at my friends and people I know, I see that a lot has changed. I wouldn't have expected it 20 years ago. And on the political level too, big steps have been made. Even amongst those who used to be unyielding as rock, who always said, the mother belongs at home with the kids, the father at work. Even they don't say that anymore.
Nearly 30% of German fathers now take paternity leave. It is the result of a family policy that encourages men to become stay-at-home dads. Indeed, since 2007, the fathers of newborns can benefit from up to 1 year of paternity leave. In this organisation for men committed to their paternal role, more and more fathers are taking this step.
You draw 65% of your wages, but you know that's only for a limited period of time, so you do end up having less money, but you keep your job and you can go back to it.
Even so, 2 out of 3 fathers still do not dare to put their careers on hold because they fear the professional repercussions. Michael, however, took 4 months off so his wife could return to work, but also to get to know his son Linus better.
I discussed it with my boss in time about 10 months in advance. He said I had to make up for it somehow, of course, but he also didn't put any obstacles in my path. It worked out really well.
And now, even German politicians have followed suit. The German Minister of Economics and Vice-Chancellor Sigmar Gabriel took paternity leave and recently announced that he would spend every Wednesday afternoon with his young daughter. To support this trend, the government is even considering reducing the working hours for parents of young children. Because in the long run, be it for fathers or mothers, finding the balance between family life and work is still a challenge.
Paid parental leave is limited to 14 months, but childcare really starts after that. It means that even more measures are required over the entire childhood and adolescence. The reduction of working hours would be a sensible plan.
The current generation of fathers in Germany certainly wouldn't mind. According to a study, 90% of German fathers would like to spend more time with their children.
And here in France, the government has just passed a series of measures aimed at ensuring gender equality. Among the moves is to open up male-dominated trades to women. By 2025, the aim is to have equality between the sexes in at least 25% of industries.
Building a good working relationship with male colleagues hasn't always been easy for Julie Chauvin. Her first job was as a carpenter before she became an electrician, 2 industries dominated by men who didn't always appreciate having a woman on the job.
I've had people say to me, "What the hell are you doing here? You're a woman. A woman has no place on a building site." There's still a problem of prejudice, but if you stand up to it, it often goes away. I've also had jobs where I've been paid a lot less than male colleagues. Not in this company, but I've had jobs where I've been paid less for doing the exact same job.
The difference in salary can be as much as 15%. But Julie says another reason why more women aren't doing manual work is because it's not encouraged.
When you're in school and you say you want to do a job like this, the careers advisors tend to steer the girls towards hairdressing, beauty, secretarial work, not building sites. Even if you know what you want to do, you can expect that careers advisors will discourage you from doing it.
While Julie's colleagues have got used to having her around, some are still hesitant about having women perform certain tasks.
At times there are heavy weights to lift. It's unfortunate, but we risk hurting ourselves. Apart from that, there's not much difference between men and women, unless it's a very physical job.
Christina Lungi advises companies on how to improve diversity and ensure equality between men and women in the workplace.
When you have women entering sectors that are traditionally male-dominated, you have to look at the ergonomics of the job. So you end up with working conditions that are better for men too. It works in reverse as well. When companies want more men on their payroll, you find that job status and salaries are elevated.
And it's good for business. Research shows that firms with equal numbers of men and women are often in better health than other companies.
And that's it for this edition. If you'd like to comment on what you've just seen, check out our Facebook page, France24/the51%, or do send us a tweet at _51%. Thanks for your feedback so far, and do keep those comments rolling in. Until our next program, bye for now.